Okay, let's pull back the curtain on a little piece of engineering magic that's pretty much hiding in plain sight. I'm talking about how electronic devices manage to survive year after year out in the harsh outdoors. You know, like that rugged IP camera you see on the street corner?
I mean, seriously, how does that thing just sit there and take it? Blistering summer heat, freezing rain, a constant bombardment of dust, and it just keeps working. Well, spoiler alert, it's not magic. It's actually a masterclass in some really clever, forward-thinking design. And today, we're going to break down exactly how it all works. So, to really get this, you've got to think of it like a war. I'm serious. The device is in this constant, nonstop battle against four relentless, invisible enemies. You've got the silent creep of water, the oppressive force of heat, the slow suffocation of dust, and then the ultimate adversary, time itself. Okay, so let's tackle the first enemy, water. Now, you think the biggest problem is a huge downpour, right? But the real threat, the thing that engineers really worry about, is the water you can't even see. And your first thought might be, well, just slap a good rubber seal on it, problem solved. And you'd be half right. That'll stop liquid water, sure, but it's totally defenseless against a much, much sneakier invader, water vapor. This is where we get to the really critical part, something engineers call the breathing effect. See, as the device heats up in the sun and then cools down at night, the air pressure inside goes up and down. This cycle makes the enclosure literally inhale humid air from the outside. Then, when it cools off, all that moisture condenses. You've got water created from thin air right next to all the sensitive electronics. Not good. So how do you solve that? Well, the solution is absolutely brilliant. A waterproof, breathable membrane. Think of it like this. Its micropores are just big enough to let tiny air and water vapor molecules pass right through, which equalizes the pressure. But they're way, way too small for a big, bulky liquid water molecule to squeeze through. The result? The enclosure can breathe out the pressure, but it can never drink the rain. Pretty cool, right?
All right, let's move on to our second enemy, heat. Now, an outdoor device has to deal with the heat it makes itself, right? But that's nothing compared to the relentless assault from the sun. We're talking over 1,000 watts of energy per square meter, just pouring down on its surface. That is a ton of energy. And this brings us to a core principle of outdoor thermal design that's actually kind of counterintuitive. You see, the biggest challenge isn't getting rid of the heat the electronics generate. Nope, it's rejecting the massive amount of heat the device absorbs from the sun. So priority number one is just blocking that solar radiation from ever getting in. To do this, engineers use this really clever two-part defense system, where each part has the exact opposite job. First, you have the main housing, usually aluminum. That's your heatsink. Its job is to pull heat away from the electronics inside. But then you have the plastic sunshield. Think of it as a personal parasol for the camera. Its one and only job is to block sunlight. And the most crucial part, it absolutely must not conduct that heat to the main body. And the secret that makes this whole sunshield thing work is a really simple but absolutely critical concept, thermal isolation. You have to create a buffer. There can be no, and I mean zero, direct path for the heat on that shield to travel into the main enclosure. So how do they actually pull that off? Well, with a pretty strict set of design rules. Rule number one, you create a big air gap. That space is a terrible conductor of heat. Rule two, any physical connections have to use low conductivity materials, like these nylon or PEEK spacers. And rule three, and this is a big one, you never use a metal screw to attach the shield to the housing. Why? Because that would create a perfect thermal highway for the sun's heat to drive right into the device. Okay, moving on to our third enemy, dust. And we're not talking about some dramatic, sudden dust storm here. No, this is a battle of slow, steady accumulation. Over months and years, even a thin layer of dust can build up and act like an insulating blanket, trapping heat and basically choking the device's ability to cool itself. The design philosophy here is just so smart. Engineers know they can't prevent dust entirely. It's impossible. So the goal isn't dust prevention, it's dust tolerance. The whole device is designed to work just fine with some dust on it, and even better, to get rid of that dust passively over time. And they achieve this through what's called passive self-cleaning. It's awesome. First, every single external surface is sloped, so gravity just helps dust slide right off. Second, any cooling fins are spaced really far apart so dust can't build up and bridge the gaps. And finally, they add these clever drip edges that are designed to channel rainwater over the surfaces, basically giving the device a little shower to wash away any grime. It's all about working with nature, not fighting against it. So you see, defeating water, heat, and dust, all of this serves one ultimate purpose: achieving long-term reliability. This is the final battle, the one against the biggest enemy of all, time, which, eventually degrades everything.
For a serious industrial-grade outdoor device, like the IP cameras we've been talking about, the target operational lifetime is at least 5 years, and often it's a lot more. Every single design choice we've just gone over, every little detail is made with that number, that goal, in mind.
And this is really how it all clicks together into one cohesive system. The breathable membrane stops internal corrosion before it can start. The isolated sun shield prevents the electronics from cooking in the sun. The self-cleaning shape makes sure the cooling system works just as well in year 5 as it did on day 1. It's not just one trick, it's a complete, holistic system that's just designed for survival. So the next time you're out and you walk past a security camera or a traffic light controller or really any electronic box just sitting out there in the elements, I hope you'll look at it a little differently. Because it's not just a piece of tech. It's a silent warrior, constantly fighting that invisible war against the elements, all thanks to some incredibly clever engineering.